Here's a question. Why do we have a preference to beauty and aesthetic? Where do we get this feeling of beauty from? Plato would answer that this is because there exists a transcendental plane where everything is in its perfect form and it manifests itself towards the physical universe objects. This is called the realm of form. Aesthetic argument defender might say that our sensation, preference of beauty in things, is evidence of the existence of ultimate perfect being, which every goodness gathers. This being is God in particular. This argument basically claims that God has intervened a lot of historical events, such as the Exodus or giving of the Ten Commandments in front of Israel. There is a lot of witness to this event, which also prove the existence of God. From Christian perspective, the resurrection of Jesus and his miracles is proof that God exists. What makes you, you? When you say my body, my brain, or my hands, who is this me or I refers to? If we depart ourselves from all our belongings, we will be left with our consciousness, a soul which most Abrahamic religion would argue cannot be explained by normal science. This existence of soul, a thing outside physical world, become indirect evidence of God's existence. The cosmological argument emphasizes greatly the cause of the universe existence. If you ask a modern scientist nowadays, how did the universe started to emerge? They will answer Big Bang Theory. Everything started with an explosion. Now, what started that explosion? He might answer it was the reaction of some chemical stuff. Now, who put that chemical there? The cosmological argument argued that there must be a necessary being, an uncaused cause, an unmoved mover, which everything starts with. Now, how did this supreme being started to exist, you may ask? The uncaused cause did not start existing. He always exists beyond our concept of time. The desire argument stated that all human desires are capable of fulfillment as nature does nothing in vain. Therefore, human desire for eternal happiness shows how there must be an afterlife to fulfill that happiness. If afterlife exists, God exists. Many religious mystics claim to have experienced relationship with God in their ritual and meditation. This experience of God can be achieved by going to ritualistic path of purifying one's heart. Where does our feeling of love come from? How do an evolved apes have the desire to belong to someone, to self-love and accepting others? Human love is the proof of God's existence, which is the source of all love. The miracle argument is commonly employed by religions that hold to holy scriptures. In Islam, it is believed that the fulfillment of prophecies in prophetic hadith and Quranic verses as proof of God's existence. Humans have strived for collective perfect happiness for centuries. That is the ultimate goal of all lawmaking and ethical conduct. It is believed that afterlife must exist to fulfill this ultimate goal. Therefore, God must exist. We know an object exists if we saw it with our own eyes, right? Now, how do you know that the object still exists when you did not see it with your own eyes in real time? How if it just exists only when you see it with your eyes? Berkeley believed our idea of an object existence is bestowed from God's mind. Therefore, it will continue to exist because God's mind is infinite that perceives all. What makes a triangle triangle? It has 3 sides. It has 3 corners. Now, what makes God God? It must be perfect. It must be all supreme. It must be all powerful. One characteristic of perfect is to exist. So, God is perfect, therefore God exists. Pascal argued that we should believe in God because if God did not exist, we would only suffer for loss of some luxury and worldly pleasures. But if God exists, we will suffer eternity of hell. This argument is being criticized for not even trying to prove anything. Supposedly you found an expensive watch on the road. You look at the machinery and intricacies of the watch. You got the idea that this watch must be designed by a very skillful watchmaker to show time. It is certainly not formed by some pure coincidental events that produce the watch. It must have a maker, an intelligent designer, because it has purpose to show time. Teleological argument uses the existence of telos, the purpose or goal of something, as it having a designer, a maker to fulfill that purpose. Now look at the universe, our solar system. The planets orbiting around the sun, which also orbits a larger celestial body, forming a galaxy of myriad solar systems. It must have a purpose of its existence, which also implies it must have a designer, a creator. René Descartes believed that all man is born with trademark from their creator. So deep down, everyone knows that God exists innately since birth. This explains why mankind have been trying to connect to God by making religions throughout history. That is all commonly known argument of God's existence that are always used by various religious body. Which you think is the best? Which you think is the worst? Be sure to leave comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you very much. See you next time.